Next up, we're going to go through some examples like you are going to see in your homework assignments. And be patient with me because as I do these, I'm going to have to use my mouse to write these out, so it may not be the neatest. Your first set of directions are going to be to write an algebraic expression for each verbal expression. So in example A, we have the sum of a number and 14. So sum, as we saw in our table, we learned that that means add. We have a number. Well, they don't specify what the number is. That doesn't mean I'm going to pick my favorite number of 10 and write that down. That means I'm going to use a variable. So I'm just going to use the letter A. And then we're going to add that to 14. And that is what the sum of a number and A would look like. Now, previously I said we had to be careful with less versus less than. So in example B, I have 6 less a number T. If I have 6 and I want less a number T, that means I'm going to have the 6 first. I'm going to go in order. In example C now, we have 24 less than 3 times a number. This less than means that I'm going to take 24 less than 3 times my number. So it's going to come after the other stuff. So the less versus less than is probably one of the most commonly made mistakes that students make on their test quizzes and assignments. So please be mindful of that. For example D, we have 1 minus the quotient of R and 7. This we do go in order. 1 minus quotient means to divide. So we're going to have R divided by 7. We talked about not using the X for multiplication. To use this multiplication symbol in algebra, you won't see that a whole lot anymore. You're going to use a fraction bar. For example, E, we have 2/5 of a number and J squared. So 2/5 is the fraction that we can write like 2/5. And of a number J, of means to multiply, and then we're going to square that. For our last example here with these directions, we have n cubed increased by 5. So we're going to write our n cubed, so n to the 3rd power, increased by means to add 5. Your next set of directions is going to ask you to write a verbal expression for each algebraic expression. There's going to be more than one correct way to do a lot of these, but I ask you to kind of challenge yourself and stay away from your typical add, subtract, multiply, or divide terms. They're not wrong to use, but we are trying to learn new skills here. So, for example, in letter A, we have 2m here, and it's not okay to just write 2m out. That I will not give you full points for on this assignment. So let's say I have the product, because product means to multiply, and I'm going to say the product of, and you can just use your number symbols, 2 and m. So that is one correct way to write that one. The next one here in B, we have 1/2 m with the exponent of 3. So I'm going to say that that is 1/2, or you could say the quotient of 1 and 2, because that's what the fraction bar means, is to divide. So we're going to say 1/2 times n cubed, or you could say n to the 3rd power. Like I said, they are more than one way to do a lot of these. And our last example of these directions, we're going to have a squared and let's say minus 18 multiplied by b. then for your next set of directions here, you're going to evaluate each expression. Now remember, this 9 to the second power does not mean 9 times 2. Do not tell me that that is 18. That means 9, got a funky 9 there, times 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. For example B here, we have 3 to the 4th, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And we know that 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 9 is 81. Just so happens those two have the same value. Now if you are using a calculator to do these, which I highly recommend, you are going to use the caret key. Notice it's spelled different than the carrot you eat or the carrot that you measure diamonds in. This little symbol right here is called a caret, and you should find those on your calculator, and then you could enter in 3 caret 4, and then when you hit enter, you would come up with 80. The last example we're going to do incorporates a few more words in a situation, which I know you have at least one like this on your assignment. We have Lorenzo bought a bag of peanuts that cost P dollars, and he gave the cashier a $20 bill. We need to write an expression for the amount of change that he will receive. Well, in this case, Lorenzo, he hands the cashier a $20 bill. We don't know in this case how much the peanuts cost, so we just said the cost was P. And if the cashier is going to make change, the cashier is going to take $20 minus the cost of the peanuts. And that will be Lorenzo's change. So then your assignment that will be due the next class period will be on pages 8 through 9, problems 14 through 42, just the evens. So this assignment with the notes that you just took, as well as this assignment, will be worth 39 points. So hopefully you will get that done on time and have a great start to the year. Now, if you were not in class, you are going to be exempted from the cool-down activity as well as the warm-up. But if you were in class and reviewing, then you don't have to worry about that because you've already done it. Until next time, thanks for listening.